We're in Benue State now, and the State House of Assembly has passed the Open Rearing and Grazing Prohibition Bill 2017, which seeks to bar herdsmen from moving freely in farming communities. To reduce clashes between farmers and herdsmen, the bill will also provide for the establishment of ranches as the only acceptable means of rearing livestock, while violators will be jailed or fined, or even both.
After the Agatu killings in 2016, the movement against Fulani occupation, MAFO, presented a bill to the Benue State House of Assembly through one of its members, who is a lawmaker, in the hope to stop open grazing, which often leads to conflicts between herdsmen and farmers. A year after presenting the bill, the MAFO members took to the streets, occupying the Benue State Assembly complex over the lawmakers' perceived inaction. This pressure eventually paid off with a public hearing on the bill and several others. It eventually goes through a third reading.
There are Fulani people there that are indigenous.
And the bill is passed.
We considered a bill for a law to prohibit open rearing and grazing of livestock and provide for the establishment of ranches and livestock administration, regulation and control, and for matters connected therewith, 2017. Having been read, the deadline is hereby passed into law.
Ngunan Adingi represents Bruku local government area. She says her constituency is one of those badly affected.
It's something we've been anticipating, it's something we've been hoping for, it's something we wanted. Because the reality is that we cannot continue to have this menace and not checkmate it. So this bill for me and my people, the good people of Enugu, we have been looking forward to this bill and it's long overdue.
The main focus is to remove cattle business in Benue from being a threat to security, to lives and property in Benue State. What we have in the current bill that has been passed has made adequate provisions to protect lives and property in Benue State.
The Benue State Attorney General believes the bill can only be properly implemented through the creation of security marshals.
This law is also coming with a provision that will establish guards, and who, together with this security committee that are already in place, will now be used in implementing or enforcing the provisions of this law.
Beyond this, there's also a suggestion to give justice to victims of herdsmen attacks through compensation to the injured or families of those who died.
We also have been advocating for the reconstruction of Benue communities, rehabilitation, reconstruction and compensation for Benue communities that have been affected by the menace of herdsmen, over the years.
While Benue indigents celebrate the passage of the bill, they still believe the real work rests with the state government and the capacity of security agencies to follow through in enforcing the law.
Let's move over now to the South-South region. As part of efforts to reduce maternal and infant mortality rates in Edo State, the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, has inaugurated a task force to boost immunization activities. Speaking during the ceremony at the Government House, Benin City, the Edo State capital, Governor Obaseki stated that the current statistics, which put Edo at the 75% success rate as against the expected figure of 95% in the country, needs to be improved on. The task force has the Edo State Deputy Governor Philip Schreiber as its chairman.
The last round of the National Immunization Plus exercise in Edo State. Following the latest immunization coverage polls across the country, Edo State is put at 75%. This, according to the Edo State government, leaves a lot to be desired. The government starts the redemption process with the inauguration of a task force to oversee immunization matters in the state at the Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital.
We intend to strengthen healthcare delivery and immunization activities in the state as part of our strategy towards protecting the health of this vulnerable group of citizens.
He says the state has been rid of polio in the last 6 years, an achievement he once sustained, as well as spread to all other childhood killer diseases.
This task force that I inaugurate today will assist in this regard to coordinate all immunization activities, mobilize resources both internally and externally to ensure that we're able to reach every child in the state, no matter how remote a location.
The task force has the state deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, as chairman.
I hereby have the honor to inaugurate the following people as members of the state task force on immunization. Number one, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, the Right Honorable Philip Shaibu, as chairman.
He pledges the commitment of his team to the fight against the 6 deadly childhood diseases in Edo State.
You have zero tolerance for failure, and we can assure you that by the grace of God, we drive the process to the extent that those statistics, those indices are reversed to be positive.
The Edo State government says it's only a matter of time for the current 75% immunization success rate to change for the better as the task force hits the ground running.
The Imo State Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS has continued its awareness campaign against stigmatization and to encourage people to know their HIV status. This time, the agency is at the Imo State University in Owerri, educating students on the rising prevalence rate of HIV and AIDS in the state and how to take precautions against the disease.
Students of the Imo State University and other youth in Owerri are gathered here at the school recreation park for the HIV and AIDS awareness campaign organized by the Imo State Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS. Reports say the prevalence rate in Imo is the highest among the southeast states. This has prompted the state agency to embark on constant enlightenment campaign to educate people about the need to go for testing and know the precautions to be taken to avoid contracting the virus.
We are doing this today so as to insist and push further the education on HIV. When you talk about HIV, we talk about the ABC. A is abstinence, total abstinence. If you can abstain from sexual activities and avoid the use of sharp objects that are not safe, you abstain completely.
In the course of the campaign, students and the youth will be allowed to get a one-day free testing and counseling where they'll be educated on the basic information concerning HIV and AIDS. The counselor tester and project officer for the agency also says the program is aimed at educating the students on the need to shun stigmatization.
We should treat them as our own. They are our brothers and sisters. And remember, everybody is, nobody is HIV negative until proven so. And because it is not written on anybody's face, you can't just see somebody and say this person has HIV or this person doesn't have HIV. And you can't just ascertain by size of a person. So it's good we accommodate everyone. We shun stigmatization. Don't stigmatize.
The threat of HIV and AIDS still remain in Nigeria, with a prevalence rate of about 3.4%, totaling about 3 million people, according to recent report from the National Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS, NACA. However, the Imo State Agency for the Control of HIV and AIDS says it will continue its awareness campaign in higher institutions of learning until the prevalence rate is reduced across the state.